So the 27th of May, the Gran Turismo 7 Manufacturer Series was released to Gran Turismo 7, and the first race was actually on the Nurburgring 24-hour layout. And as you can see, we're doing the qualifying here, kind of making a mistake out of the final turn. So yeah, I decided to go with the Toyota Supra, I think the 2021 model it is. And yeah, we managed to qualify into P3 for the 2022 series season 1 round 1. So let's just cut to the manufacturer intro before the race starts. So as that intro ended, and we're going into the first race of Season 1 of the Manufacturer Series, let's introduce the drivers' lineup and see where they qualified. So P1 we have Magic Louis in the Volkswagen, P2 we have Ludo in the Toyota, P3 we have Ash also in the Toyota, P4 we have Rock 77 in the Lexus, P5 we have Fugats in the Porsche, P6 we have Alex in the Nissan, P7 we have Bidbu in the Peugeot, P8 we have Mr. XO in the Genesis, P9 we have Flarzy in the Hyundai, P10 we have Jelena in the Subaru, P11 we have Oak in the Mercedes, P12 we have Hack in the Porsche, P13 we have Stoneil in the Aston Martin, P14 we have Eddie in the Hyundai, P15 we have Pablet in the Chevrolet, and back to the grid, P16 we have Andy in the Mercedes. So coming to the end of the formation lap. So we're coming up to the lights, getting ready for the race to start. And it's lights out, away we go for the first race in the Gran Turismo 7 Manufacturer Series for the 2022 season. So we're going to turn 1, we brake a little bit late, we go wide. That is going to cost us some positions. We go down into P5, there was an instant behind us, probably a slight tap. So we're trying our best to catch back up to P4. The Volkswagen is in P1, followed by the Toyota. So we're trying our best to catch up, clip the apex there, then come out wide, trying to get a good exit, trying to catch up with P4 who's in the Lexus. Clip the apex again there. I think the Genesis behind me has actually got a half a second penalty, probably from corner cutting. No, they have a 5-second penalty, that's probably from colliding with another car. Didn't quite cut the apex there, we'll try to get the best exit we can. So we're trying our best to catch up as quickly as possible. Could be okay there, abusing the track limits. Now this turn is essential to get it right because you don't want to hit the barrier or the wall as you come out, which is a very likely thing to do if you get the corner wrong. So we get a good exit. We're trying our best to catch up to P4. The Genesis is behind us with the 5-second penalty. So we're trying our best to get the braking zones and the corner best as right as we can to maximise the speed coming out of it. So coming to the long straight. This corner is quite easy to get wrong if you don't do it right. You will be sent off into the grass. We managed to do it right, so that's pretty good. Trying our best to get the best exit we can, going as quick as we can. Now this corner as well, this one's a bit dangerous because if you don't get that corner right, you will go straight off into the grass, into the barrier. And there's a yellow flag in front of us. Let's have a look what happened. The Volkswagen is off the track trying to rejoin. So let's have a see what happened there. So we're expecting the Volkswagen just behind the Porsche. They're really close together. Probably the Porsche's trying to get an overtake here. Slight tap and they both go off into the gravel. The Volkswagen tries to join as quick as possible, but they get spin. We go past and we move up into P4, which is great for us. And the Volkswagen moves down into P6. So we moved up from P4, we're trying to catch up to the Porsche that was just in the incident. I don't think any penalties were given out during that accident, to be honest. So we're really close to the Porsche. Trying to get an overtake as quick as possible. Trying our best to make sure that the overtake is a safe one. The Lexus has a little bit of movement there, they can keep control of the car. The Porsche tries up to move up into P3. And into P2 actually. And they send the Lexus off. I move up into P3, the Porsche moves up into P2. Let's have a see what happened. This from my perspective. Yep, the Lexus just hit the barrier. Let's have a look from the Porsche's perspective. The Lexus brake and the Porsche just slams into the Lexus. And I don't think any penalties were given up there. We move up to P3, Porsche up to P2. That moment had to slow down the Porsche a little bit, so we're trying our best to catch up to the Porsche as quickly as we can. I think there's another accident behind us. And this corners here, these two, they're kind of difficult to get right. I have done many attempts where I've just gone straight off the track, especially in the practice for this race. So we're trying to quickly catch up to the Porsche. The Volkswagen is behind us. I noticed they're quite quick around the circuit. The Porsche goes off the grass a little bit, and we move up into P2. Very simple mistake that can cost you quite a bit of time and a position. So now we're trying to catch up to P1 while also getting some distance away from the Porsche behind us. So don't quite clip the apex, but we managed to get quite close to it. We're trying to get the best exit we can. We go a little bit wide here. The Porsche goes up in front. We go into the grass. And the Porsche moves up to P2. We go back down to P3. We're trying to catch up as quickly as we can. The Volkswagen also goes on the grass there. Around carousel now. Hyundai behind us is covering some ground quite quick, the German. We're trying to get some distance away from the Hyundai behind. The Hyundai has actually a moment, they go into the barrier there, so that's going to really help us out to get some distance away from them. So we're trying our best to catch back up to the Porsche. So we had a little bit of airborne there, just a moment. And there's a yellow flag in front of us, and the Porsche has slowed. When we go past the Porsche, go through him actually, to be correct. Let's have a look what happened there. So this is the view from Porsche. So there you go, the car gets a light, they go into the grass, lose traction, they just slam into the barrier, and that really slows them down. So you've got to be careful when you're going over that section when it's literally a sudden downhill. Very common mistake to happen. We move up into P2 now. We go a little bit wide for that corner. And a little bit wide for that one. I think the Porsche has an incident again. Yes, they have. They're now in reverse. They're facing the wrong way. So that's going to really help us out. Let's try and catch up to P1. Ludo in first, the French driver. So coming to the long straight now, it's essential to have a really fast car through this bit and a really good exit out of that corner. So we cut forward one lap. We're also on the long stretch. The Volkswagen behind us, the Ludo is still in front of us. And the Hyundai is behind the Volkswagen. So we come around to finish the second lap of the race. And there's a yellow flag. We go off into the grass a little bit there. And Ludo has gone into the pits. And I'm pretty sure they've gone to change to a wet set of tyres on a dry track. Maybe they see something in the course that we don't. Maybe it's going to start raining soon, but it's a bit of a gamble to go into the pits now. So we're going down to T1 and T2. Volkswagen giving us a little bit of a flash for some reason. So cut to lap number 3. It's now in the dark. It is currently raining as well a little bit. We're still on the hard set of tyres, I believe. Ludo is in P6 after that tyre change. We're trying our best to catch up to the Volkswagen. And I think the Volkswagen had an incident, and the Hyundai behind has a little moment there. Let's see what happens. This is my perspective. The Volkswagen just goes a little bit too wide as they lose grip. We just slide past them up into P1 for the first time in this race. So we're trying to gain some distance away from the Volkswagen, but to be honest, the Volkswagen is really fast around the circuit. They've really got the line sorted and the access and everything. They just got it right. So still continuing to rain on the nurburgring launch driver, which is not good on the green hell in the dark with rain, with dry tyres on, with dry weather racing. So all these factors on a really dangerous circuit is not well. Magic Louis goes up in first as a great overtake. Let's have a look at that overtake again. So this is my perspective from my rear view camera and from the front view. We go a little bit wide, they just nip up past from the inside and they go up into P1. Really clean, really good overtake from their part. So we're trying our best to catch back up to get back into P1. So cut a little bit further in the race. This is the final lap of the race. We're in P3 behind the German driver. The Volkswagen is in P1 still. And there's a yellow flag and we go off course a little as we lose traction. And the Volkswagen is off. So let's have a look what happened. So this is from the Volkswagen perspective. They go off again. I think that's the same corner as last time. The Hyundai goes off a little bit as well. But the Volkswagen is put the wrong way. This is my perspective. We're coming past into P2. And the green flag is back out. So fast forward a little bit more. We're coming to the end of the race here. We're still in P2. The Volkswagen's in P4. The British driver is behind us. The German driver in P1 has finished the race. We're coming around to finish the race now. At about 35 minutes late from the start of the race, we finish in P2. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please consider liking and subscribing and sharing with your friends. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.